Welcome back to the Stache Club Wrestling Podcast, folks. Ooh, we're fired up. My name is John. I'm joined by my co-host here,
Jimmy from the Q.
Let's go, baby. I'm fired up. I'm still reeling off of last night. If you didn't know, if you didn't see on any social media, we were posting it all night. Jimmy and I, separate seats, but collectively and with everyone else in the Stache Club community that was in the building, we were there live for Monday Night Raw last night to see John Cena in his hometown win the Intercontinental Championship and become a Grand Slam champion. What a night. It's what this whole episode is going to be about. We're going to be chatting about our experience, our live experience, what we feel about everything. I love that I was there. I have so much to talk about. I have no idea where to start, but I just want to kind of vibe check you. How you doing? How you feeling coming off of last night? I saw maybe you had a little trouble sleeping last night. Me as well. What are your thoughts? How you feeling off of last night?
I'm off a little bit of sleep. My voice is just coming back. But we're talking about SmackDown. What are you talking about, John?
This is a full SmackDown episode. Yeah, we're not. I don't know if we're talking about anything else. I'll tell you that.
I mean, I want to check you about SmackDown at some point. Maybe we'll save it to the tail end of the show. Maybe we'll save it for the Patreon. It was the quote unquote the worst SmackDown in years, according to Mr. Moonsault. So
according to me and a lot of people, everyone's like, you're in the minority. It's like, well, no, 90% of people think it's bad. Apparently you are in that 10%. But we'll talk about it later in the show.
Way later,
because I want to have I want to talk positive. You know what I mean? I was sick last week. I came on with a little more of a chip on my shoulder, if you want to call it that. It's like, I'm sick and I'm sick of this shit. But not today. What a show. Genuinely one of the best shows. Probably definitely the best TV wrestling I've gone to. Because I've gone to some Raws and on some SmackDowns. I'd say that's the best Raw or SmackDown I've ever been to. Yeah, I don't know how you feeling. It's how we're where are you in terms of like the night overall in terms of it ranking?
I'm still just recovering. What an absolute moment in time that was last night in the Boston TD Garden. John Cena's last time in Boston. Just everything and more you could have asked for. It was. I mean, to start the show, the vibe in the arena was nothing I've ever seen before. A sea of green for John. It was euphoric, and to experience that with my nephew, my brother, which shout out my brother who bought the tickets. Lord knows I couldn't afford it, because even too, he bought the tickets like a few weeks ago, and the move is apparently to buy tickets last second, because I know a few people bought tickets last second that paid for very good seats. That I was sitting up with. The Iron Sheik and Bobby the Brain Heenan, but there's no bad seat in the Garden, and when it was one of the most. Probably my most favorite Raw I've ever been to. Although the one I met you at was an all-timer
Raw.
too.
Cena also there. Yeah, great Raw.
But to me, even like how much John Cena means to me growing up.
Yeah, man.
And him being the hometown boy, it just ran true. New IC champion, Grand Slam, and then even too last night. And like I didn't get too emotional about John Cena, surprisingly. But what really I got sentimental about, and what really meant a lot to me, was seeing Dirty Dominic Mysterio in that spot in the ring with the COO Triple H, who of course had to pat himself in the back and put himself over to start the show, which I thought was actually a good taste. Surprising Killer Kowalski trained me right down the road over there.
I honestly missed that. That's so sick. I'm so
you didn't see Triple H?
No, I didn't hear the Killer Kowalski.
Oh no! I was doing a Triple H voice. If he should have said that.
If he said that, I would have been like, woo!
True. Big
I was like,
Killer.
Shout out bell time. I definitely want to get. I think I guess how we'll kind of structure this is we will kind of go through the whole night, and I'll tell you. I'm sure. And I'll tell you this, folks. This is a we were there live bias. I'm sure if I watched this on TV, I might be like, of course, Triple H started the show. I love that he started the show. I love everything about that. You know what I mean? I loved everything about it. So this is going to be a very. If you are a Stache Club fan, because you like hearing the negative stuff and the whatever, this is not the episode.
We'll
for
watch
you.
last week.
Yeah, exactly right.
Top to bottom, a phenomenal show though.
Yeah.
Not see the Cena stuff alone.
I agree.
But yeah,
it felt like I saw someone. Which I like this take, is that mainly about the Cena Dom match, is that they wrestled like a house show style match. and the crowd and everyone treat it like the main event of WrestleMania or whatever.
The atmosphere, I mean, they could have had an absolute stinker.
Yeah.
It could have been Hogan Rock at 18, which, I mean, match was fine, but it was about the environment. It was about the emotions. It was about the 25 plus years of blood, sweat, and tears that John Cena put in this business. And the love that Boston showed for him was just enormous. And then again, too, like, for me, Dom Mysterio, like...
well, yeah, I want to get. Let me.
Yeah, sorry.
Let me. No. I'm just kind of.
Do we do plugs too? We gotta do plugs.
Oh, geez, good call. All right, we'll plug. So I'm just kind of because I know I'm gonna say I want to jump around and talk about everything, but I think I want to start out with kind of how I ended up, because I wasn't even gonna go.
Yeah.
So I want to kind of start out how I ended up going, and we'll literally go from top to bottom with Triple H coming out and then Dom and everything. But I'm glad you said that, because plugs, folks. First of all, follow us and everything. If you listen to this pod, I'd be shocked if you weren't following us and everything. Or even if imagine listening to this podcast, you're not subscribed. That's crazy. Hit the hype button, do all this stuff. But the biggest plug is patreon.com/Stache Club Wrestling. That's the best way to support the show, best way to support the pod. We are going to chat for a whole extra hour over there on the podcast. We have a bunch of questions to answer from you guys, and it's weekly. You get the whole back catalog, $5 a month. Go check out.
Go retweet my boobs.
Yeah, I mean, what a you texted me that, and I was like, gold, posting this right now. But yeah, so I was on the fence of going, so we've been talking about for the past like 2 weeks about how expensive these tickets were, and you know, I think I even said it last time I went to a Raw or SmackDown, where I was kind of like, I think I'm over going to like TV shows. Like I think I'm over going to Raw or SmackDowns. Like you spend a lot of time, you know, sitting there, you know, through commercials. You can tell when the matches are down, and like, you know, it's you very much go having to be like, I am going to a TV taping. This Raw was not the case, which is hindsight, I'm glad I went. But I tweeted out, I was like, if anyone sees like insider info, he's gonna have a match. I wasn't gonna go unless he had a match. Which the whole show, top to bottom, even besides Cena stuff, ended up being great. But then yesterday morning at like 10 or 11, I started seeing people tweeting at me and whatever. I'm just like, some dirt sheet leaked that there's gonna be plans for him. And I didn't even give a shit. But usually I'm like, so like, I hate being spoiled and whatever. For this, I was like, I want to be spoiled because I want to know that I should spend this money to go. So I saw the dirt sheet that was like, he's gonna face Dom, probably for the IC title. And, you know, there weren't news of who would win, but I was like, there's no way he's losing. So anyway, the second I saw that news, hopped on Ticketmaster. There was still some tickets left. Definitely spent a little bit more than expected to, but I think, you know, well worth the pretty penny. Speaking of that, we are going to be putting out 8 videos a day to get this money back. But yeah, so I'll tell you what too. I called. You know, I think a lot of this episode is going to be about our personal experiences to like wrestling and John Cena. And, you know, I did a pretty sappy Instagram post about it, but I called my parents like the night before, and I just kind of called them to say hi, like I usually do. And I was talking about like, oh, Cena's last match, and they've been with me through this whole, you know, I make them watch SmackDown and Raw as a 9-year-old and as a 20-something-year-old.
They've been with you since day one.
100%. And so I was like, yeah, and especially my dad was very much like, you gotta go. My mom was like, you gotta go, and I was like, I don't know, like I'll let you know. And she's like, I really think you should. Da-da-da. So anyway, I woke up the next morning, bought the ticket, and then I called my parents, and I was like, guess who's going to see? And they were like, yes. They're like, how do we watch it? I think it's like I gave them the Netflix login, and I think they watched the beginning of the show. But like that was a fun moment for me of also just being like, as a very funny as like a 29-year-old, and then have your parents be like, yes, go see John Cena, whatever. But it was great. Sentimental.
I mean, any parent still, no matter how old you get, will still see you as that little boy.
100%.
So anytime, any opportunity where they also see something that, you know, brings you back to that childhood euphoria, that nostalgia, it was no question that you had to go.
Yeah, that was like the biggest push. I was like, well, they want me to go. Yeah. But yeah, bought the ticket that morning, locked in, did some editing, headed right there. But yeah, okay. So you know, that's kind of our our personal how we got there and tickets, whatever. You said you kind of had some tickets beforehand, and I love that you went with like your family. It's a beautiful moment.
Yes, so happy to share that moment with my nephew. Who's this was a second ever show. We went to SmackDown a few months ago, which like compared to the two shows, night and day,
right?
Night and freaking day.
Yeah, this Raw, it felt like a big pay-per-view. Like it was so good. And like, even like you look at, we're gonna go beat for beat, like the Stephanie McCare world title match, the title change at the end of the night, like the tournament matches,
Nikki Bella turning heel.
There's so much.
And then too, like not to glaze WWE or ticket prices, but like when you say that if Rhea Ripley, Cody Rhodes, and Punk. Then Punk, I think Punk was advertised.
Oh, sorry.
My point was, the fact that Rhea Ripley, Cody Rhodes, and this John Cena versus Dom Mysterio IC title match wasn't advertised.
Yes.
I think that those guys were advertised. Ticket prices probably would have been higher. So shout out to surprises and although even to your credit to where I don't like being spoiled. We walk in the arena and the usher, this smooth talking usher, basically tells me, my nephew, yeah, guess what, guys? Dom Mysterio, John Cena booking. I'm like, who the hell told?
Really?
I'm like, who the hell told you? And then he was trying to get my nephew to RKO. I'm like, Joe, go to your seat. I don't know what this guy's deal is. But yeah, man, this was a hell of a night, man.
So yeah, we get in. Did you watch any of main event? Did you get in?
I got there bright and early. Yeah. The line was wrapped around the garden. We were getting rained on. It was a scene. Yeah, so I got there right for main event. We seen the Riho and Blue O, I believe.
Something
El
like
Grande
that.
versus the LWO.
I'll tell you this, as someone who's not a big, I do enjoy Kaiser's El Grande. I still think like the character and whatever is like whatever at this point, but like I like it. I'll tell you what. El Grande in the arena, and it's what a lot of this, I'm kind of saying this half jokingly, but like a lot of this discussion, especially once we get to Jey Uso, is going to be about just in there, in person versus online, and it kind of rejuvenating me personally, and it's refreshing or whatever. But anyway, El Grande walking around ringside with the cape and everything, guys got some pretty good, dare I say, guy's got some pretty good aura.
Oh yeah,
he's got a lot of aura.
I popped for him. I thought
it was great.
Yeah.
That was a fun match. New Day were on main event, which is always great to see. Kofi, hometown. Well, I guess he went to college in Boston. He claims Boston.
Yeah. Patriots fan.
Yeah, I'd say hometown-ish Boston. So that was fun. What was fun about main event too is you kind of saw the guys work it like a house show too. Like Woods was getting in kids' faces and shit. But then so. Tell you what, they got me at the beginning of the show when, everyone's expecting John Cena's music. Triple H's music hit. I'm looking at the ramp. I'm like, where is he? He's already, I don't know how he got in the ring.
Us, yeah.
No idea how he got in the ring. So he starts off with a very just like, it's one of these Triple H promos that whenever it's a big show or big announcement, like it's like, any WrestleMania starts out with Triple H out there, and you're kind of saying, given the rundown and Boston Rocks and introduces John Cena. And just goosebumps, man. When that music hit,
I'll tell you what, Fat Mark here. When he was talking about, like what he was talking about and some of the subject matter, didn't you feel like that was kind of like, kind of leading up to like, he's kind of alluding to, fences being mended and stuff like that, like. I kind of got in my head about Edge a little bit when he was talking, and like the fact that Triple H is in the ring and like what that would mean for. Because I know we speculated last week about the Edge thing, but like when he was talking, no, but like it's a reality situation. That's the internet fans. Real life fans would have loved it. But yeah, I mean, when he was talking, I kind of was like, oh. But again, great introduction for John Cena. The roof blows off the building. Just brought you back to all the years that John Cena has been an absolute role model, an absolute pleasure to watch. Really brought a tear to my eye. I almost got every word of the theme song. Fumbled a little bit in the beginning, but then finished strong. I had a great section. Everyone just was just ranting and raving, man.
Yeah, his promo obviously expected to be very sentimental, and him being like, I want to come to Boston, and like they played it up like. When I'm in the arena, and most of the time when I'm watching it, like I am watching it as a fan, that dirt sheet could have told me, what was going to happen in the following match, in the following promo, beat for beat. But when John Cena was out there and he was like, a match wasn't announced, to me, there was no announcement. You know what I mean? Like nothing was real until I saw it happen. So he was out there really sentimental and playing up the tournament and made the really cool, which I didn't clock at first because I was kind of just in the moment and you kind of hearing half of it. I'm just always so filled with adrenaline.
Yeah.
And but I really liked, he talked about Saturday's main event and he was like, oh, it's going to showcase a bunch of NXT stars.
I didn't clock that either.
Yeah, I heard him say
so
something
loud in the building,
and I was like, what are they doing?
Yeah.
Something like that. So I guess Saturday's main event is going to be a bunch of NXT exhibition matches or something like that against the main roster, which is really cool. Kind of coming off of his recent trip to the Performance Center. Him talking about he wants to go out putting people over and shuffling in the new era. And again, just the love pouring out from Boston was so cool. We get spoiled, I'll tell you that. Even from this Raw, but I've gone to a good handful of events at this point, and we rarely get a meh show. There's usually always something that happens.
Yeah.
Whether it's on WWE or AEW, there's always something that happens in
Absolutely.
Boston. And I don't know if that's just I don't think that's bias.
It's a good wrestling city.
It's an underrated wrestling city, as two people who live here, unbiased.
I will say though, that SmackDown I went to a few months ago, that was in the discussion for worst SmackDown in recent memory. I'll say that. Admittedly, you go to any live wrestling show,
right?
I had a good time, but watching it back, I'm like, dude, the main guy was Jimmy Uso on the show. I mean, that's respect to Big Jim,
but so yeah, and then when Dom's music hit, I was like, oh, it's real. Oh, the dirt sheet is telling me, because that shit could be bullshit.
The usher was telling the truth.
The usher was telling the truth. Dom coming out, and just like you said, so much props to Dom for being in this position. The Boston crowd gave him hell. There's none of this. We're cheering for tweener, babyface, heel Dom. In Boston, we played our role. We're booing him out of the building against our guy. I think he played up to it really well. And just they built to the match so well. Of just I could face you anytime and place. And the build to it was oh my God, it's happening. Oh my God, it's happening. And then to get hit in the face with that match is happening now.
Wild.
I was like,
wild.
What? No way. Crazy. Triple H steps up. Let's have it now. And in my head, I was like, okay, maybe the dirt sheet's wrong. Maybe it's knock me for the IC title. They put the IC title online. I was like, no way. I was losing my mind. The match started. Like I said earlier, it's like they wrestled such a fun, compelling house show match that the crowd was so into. Cena hitting all the beats, Dom hitting all the beats, hit Three Amigos successfully. The not just plow through it, but the Eddie chair shot, and Cena playing into it, doing the wink.
I started the Eddie chant. I swear to you,
bro. I tried to do it in my section, and I gave about maybe 5 or 6 good Eddies, and no one. And then I kind of heard, whatever. I swear, where were you? If the entrance is, can you kind of explain where you were in the arena in terms of
next to Bobby the Brain Heenan,
right.
Iron Sheik, no, but legit, section 306. The highest row, but thankfully, which is a move I do. If anyone wants to buy me seats anywhere, you included, you got to get aisle seats. I'm a big boy.
100%.
I don't mind getting up for people moving in, but I'm not being squished in the middle. I got to sit right in the aisle just in case of emergency.
But where were you in terms of for me, the entrance was right to. I was right in front of the entrance to my right. Was the entrance to your right or left? Where were you?
I'd say pretty much diagonal, facing it almost.
Okay.
Again, extremely high up. No bad seat in the garden.
Okay. I'll tell you, I've been to a couple of shows at this point, so I know what a Jimmy yell sounds like. not Eddie. I forget what it was. There was 1 or 2 things where I'm pretty sure something was a little quiet, and then I heard some sort of just
Did you hear a 6-7?
No, I didn't hear a 6-7.
That's right.
I swear I heard something.
I hit that once.
But Boston was on fire
dude.
for it, and I guess which, again, very thankful that I got to be in the building. But I guess people were, complaining about naturally it's a TV show, the amount of commercials. Apparently there's a lot of commercials, I guess, which again, I felt very fortunate that I was there. Didn't have to sit through commercials. Dom even did the whole like, I'm leaving, I'm not doing this, and like, God, it was such a. I'll tell you what. There's no secret to who I want to speak for you to who my wrestler and match of the week is. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Considering I only watch SmackDown, I only watch Raw, and we only do wrestler match of the week of things we watch. So
right.
if there was a banger on Collision, I apologize, but John Cena, man, Dominic Mysterio, man,
kidding.
new IC champion,
and then that ending. Dom, obviously some sort of Dom shenanigans and blah blah, and like the ref bump. Yeah, we got a ref bump, and then Cena hits him with the AA, and it's like, get a ref, and then the Dom kick out, dude. I guess I will pause here before we get to the finish. To you kind of did it a little earlier, but just like Dominic Mysterio in this position, man, like. And I've said it before, and I don't know if it's parasocial to say it or whatever, but like, I feel so fucking proud of this guy. He's a dude that's like around our age. We've seen him since he was a kid in this business.
Both men worked SummerSlam 2005.
Ain't that the truth? And then even like, in the back of my head, again, I don't mean to be parasocial about it, but like, thinking about. After the match, they did the little wink wink of John Cena and Ray shaking hands. And that was kind of, the iconic image of before John Cena took the title off Ray.
Sure got that second match for sure.
I know. But like to see Ray and Cena, two of the longest tenured next to Kofi and Sheamus, but like those two are the biggest veterans in that building, seeing them on the screen together, and then also knowing like Ray must be so fucking proud of this kid, man. Like imagine being Ray, Dom's father, to take kayfabe out of it, and seeing Dom open up Raw, John Cena's fourth appearance, one of his last matches in his hometown. You give that spot to Dominic Mysterio, like I love it. I could write a novel about how just beautiful that is and just like well-rounded that is, and like I love it. All the props to Dom, man. Genuinely.
And there's been a few people like, oh, it sucks to see Dom lose the Intercontinental Championship. But this is bigger than wins and losses. To have this moment forever in Boston, and like you, parasocial, whatever. I love this kid, and this
good.
For him to have this moment in Boston, John Cena's last match in Boston, is
killed
huge.
it,
and he killed it, man.
On the mic in ring. Again, like seeing the Eddie spot almost brought a tear to my eye.
Didn't feel out of place with two of the biggest professional wrestling stars in that ring. Just like last week when too small Rey Mysterio. I feel like Dom, like he's upper echelon, but like, dude, what a freaking moment in time. I couldn't help but just feel and like think like, well, this is like, obviously this is John Cena Boston. This is his moment, Grand Slam. This is huge, but also Dom, mother loving Mysterio.
What a moment for this kid.
Still a AAA Mega Champion.
That's the thing.
Future WrestleMania main eventer.
And they're leading to Ray Dom at Survivor Series. That does not need the IC title. If anything, he still has a AAA title. Put the AAA title on the line if you want. But it was really Dom has had a great run. But anyways, we'll get to the finish where Dom hits the frog splash, and that's like, oh, that might be it. Cena catches him, does the roll up, picks him right up. Super Cena is in full tow AA, and I don't know. I want to get across this moment accurately because 1, 2, 3, TD Garden erupted. I don't know about you, but that's one of the biggest pops and greatest ovations I've ever been in the presence of / a part of. The only one that comes to mind rivaling it, and I don't know if it beats it, is Cody winning it at 40.
which is like a couple thousand more people.
It's in a football stadium, but
still crazy.
And I genuinely say rivals it because it was a smaller arena. It was the hometown guy. That it was surreal to experience, and that moment alone was worth the price of admission and then some. But how were you feeling when that 3 count hit? CENA won. Because I didn't know, obviously the dirt sheet said like IC title. I thought maybe we'd get some bullshit or whatever. I wasn't, and again, when I'm in the arena, I'm fully just like engulfed in the universe of it all, right? So like it was just as much of a surprise to me, regardless of what I saw. What a moment.
Absolute euphoria. Lost my mind, almost fainted, I swear to you. And then like it really grabbed my nephew's hand and like I had one of those like, this is one of those life moments I'll think about.
Sure.
And I know for him too, like when those kids, these moments in time stay with you. So like getting emotional thinking about it, chills down my spine right now. And then like, this is kind of mid-match, but like the 5-knuckle shuffle. Many people
I'm glad you said that.
Many people saying you can't see me,
and we nailed it because we've seen other cities, and he'll kind of get here or whatever. Boston, but you can't. You're right. One of the biggest and grandiose you can't see ever.
They heard that in Peabody. I swear to you. Just absolutely. An insane moment. The pyro going off. I'll never forget that for the rest of my life, dude. Of course, the shirt ripped off.
Such a good moment. We posted. I forget we talked about it on here. It was off pod, but like you text me the shirt rip off. I posted immediately. That went fucking crazy.
Yeah, dude.
And I think I texted you beforehand. When we went to TNA. Obviously, there was also like different reasons why we wanted to post, like, for we kind of, there was some other reason we wanted to like post or whatever, good reasons. And going to this, this being our job and whatever, as much as I like going to this stuff, as a fan or whatever, there's the back of my head of like, well, I also want to take advantage. I also paid this money for a ticket. I would like to, this is a once in a moment lifetime. Like I got to make sure for work and whatever, I want to take advantage of it. And I want to make sure I'm getting like, content or doing stuff or whatever. And I think I even texted you of just like, if we do stuff, great. If we don't, whatever, like I'm not super stressed. I got what I needed,
Yeah. Even for the memory bank too,
100%. Like I got what I want. I got some, reactions and a picture and whatever to post or whatever. But I made sure, and I'll be the first to admit, like I'm sure I was probably on my phone a little too much looking at notifications during Rusev, Damian Priest, God forbid.
Tough spot to follow that up for the boys.
100%.
Yeah.
But I made a conscious decision to like, I think I balanced it really well of being a fan and also being there with work in mind. And like I had, I did get the reactions, but like my strategy was like, before something happened, I kind of had it right here, but I wasn't looking at my phone. So I just kind of had it here to film it, but like so I kind of did two at once.
I did that a few times too. The videos come out terrible when you do that.
Well, yeah. And you know what? And I would rather a half decent video, but still being able to be in the moment, because I was like, I wanted to make sure I was there in the moment while also taking advantage of the situation we were blessed with. And but yeah,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, keep going.
I totally feel you too, and like even like the SmackDown I mentioned I went to during the summer, I got pretty banged up. I smoked a little bit, drank a little bit. This sober as a gopher, and then even me and you were texting before because then we were talking about how expensive tickets are, and like me and you were both like, yeah, we're not buying beers, we're not buying merch, we don't want to break the bank. After that match, I had to get a drink.
I went and got a beer. I went and got a beer.
That match made me need a drink, and like I had to celebrate.
I got a Sam Adams Light. I got a tall Sam Adams Light. Had a nice beer in celebration.
Jack and Coke,
of CENA.
man. I had to celebrate my boy John
100%.
Cena.
What's another $20 or whatever?
Right? I only got one.
Yeah, I only had the one beer too. But yeah, and just like him holding up the IC title, it became so surreal. And then it starts to clock to you of just like, we just saw John Cena win the IC title. He won a championship on Raw, like in Boston. That's already crazy. But then it's the one title that I don't even know if the word eluded, I don't think is like accurate, because he is a 17-time world champion.
He never needed it. Yeah.
But it's the one he never got. And it's the one that prevented him from being a Grand Slam champion. And I think the discussion is like, people are probably like, oh, does he need it? Did he need the IC title? And again, this is where like the bias of being there and Boston fans gonna probably come into play. But I think the majority of people are like, yeah, like that was worth it. Like Dom had a great run. It didn't bury Dom at all. If anything, it put Dom over the moon. So yeah, I think people are like, oh, does he need every single accolade? To me, this was almost like they've already been kind of apologizing for the heel turn, and I'm not even the heel turn because I don't think the heel turn in general was like a negative thing, but the execution of the heel turn and maybe how they kind of, I don't know, not wasted, but didn't nail a handful of months of this retirement tour. And so to me, it almost felt like like we gave you the face turn, the great match at SummerSlam against Cody, and we've been pretty solid even post SummerSlam. And you know what? Let's cap this off with a Grand Slam championship.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you this, leading up to this and like leading up to seeing like the dirt sheets or whatever about Raw, him winning the IC title wasn't anywhere on my radar in terms of like, what else? Because we've been talking like the tournament's happening and he's gonna, go to Saturday's main event, or maybe he'll do something at War Games, whatever. Leading up to this Raw, that didn't cross my mind that he would win the IC. At this point, 4 dates left, and they did. They still surprised me, and I think it's such a cool and good move. Yeah, and him kind of holding up that title, the power went off, and a really sentimental, just like, him going back upstage and like doing the salute and just like whatever, and just,
or even the guy on the mic said, thank you, Boston.
Yes,
thanks to you. One last time, the champ is here. Oh my God. Teardrops coming down for me. And maybe an apology to the controversial, maybe incorrect heel turn, but also an apology for the fact that this wasn't his last match, because it should have been in Boston. Whether that be at Fenway Park in the freaking snow, Gillette Stadium in the freaking snow, wouldn't have mattered. We would have us Bostonians, us John Cena's lovers would have pulled up. And I try to start because he mentioned his last match in Washington for that. You got big booze.
Yeah.
I try to start the fuck DC champ, but no one bit. This guy, just means the world to me, and like it was something that I'll remember for the rest of my life easily. Yeah,
no, it's genuinely one of the best moments. Best moments I've ever witnessed. Period, in terms of just like sports or events or like whatever, but like. One of the best moments to witness in wrestling history. I'm so glad I was there.
I watched the show back as I was going to sleep last night.
Oh wow,
Joe Tess, credit to him. And I mean, I think I might have tweeted this out years ago, and I mean it, and I want to start the movement. Us Bostonians need to hop on it. John Cena deserves a banner in TD Garden.
It'd be so sick. It would be really cool.
Think about how many sellout arenas in that arena that John Cena is credited for.
Yeah.
A billion. So give him a banner if it just says John
more
Cena.
More than Jason Tatum. I don't know. I'm just kidding. That'd be so sick. But yeah, I guess to kind of cap off the Cena Glaze session.
I'd go for another hour.
I know, honestly. I posted something sappy on my Instagram, but just like, I would have been kicking myself if I missed this show. Even if he didn't wrestle, which like hindsight's 2020. Thank God he wrestled. And like, was he really not going to wrestle? I don't know.
There's no chance to me that he would allow that. To be honest with you. Like, yeah. It's definitely interesting point where like
I was mainly just being cheap.
You didn't advertise a match and like I think it's maybe giving them too credit, or maybe John Cena too much credit, being like, maybe he didn't do that so the prices would stay a bit low. Maybe, I don't know. I'd be curious to know. I mean, I don't know, because again, it was never confirmed beforehand that this match was happening.
Right,
it all happened on the show, which made it that much more special. So
I think more so, because I'm not giving him that credit. Yeah, I think more so is we know we're gonna sell out with a John Cena appearance anyway. Right, you know what I mean? Yeah. But like, this is what I was talking about when I was debating buying a ticket. Is like. So I was kind of surprised they didn't announce a match, because you're right. In the sense of like, if they did announce a match, it'd be sold out twice over, and resell tickets would be 100%. So I guess like to your point, there is a little bit of credit to be as WWE now is just so, I don't know, about capitalizing on things, and like, you know, we've seen in the past where they would rather announce something so they can get those extra sales than keep something a secret. We've seen it a handful of times. So I am thankful for whatever reason that they didn't do it. I am thankful they didn't announce it outright, and we got to have that moment. That felt, and it's kind of go into what, you know, the rest of what I'm about to say is, it gave us that moment of, we got a surprise in wrestling. You know, surprises in wrestling don't happen as much anymore. Call it the current era we're in. You know, that, like I said, if someone's gonna be on the show, that's gonna be a big surprise, or CM Punk's gonna be on the show, or whatever. They're 9 times out of 10, other than a big return, they're gonna announce it so they can capitalize on the announcement, right? But like, to be so surprised like that, you know, I think I can speak for you too, is like, we felt like kids again, man. It's why we bought the ticket. It's why we do this podcast. It's why we're still fans getting into our damn 30s. You know what I mean? And I think part of my Instagram post was just like, I was thankful for John Cena. I've been watching the guy since I was 9 years old. Since I started watching wrestling in 2005, he's always been the guy. And it's the last... you know, and that was the last John Cena. I'm trying to think how to word this accurately. John Cena leaving wrestling feels like the last tangible piece of like our childhood, right? As adults, you get less and less connected to, you know, what you enjoyed as a kid or what you watched as a kid, right? Like as a 30-year-old or 20, I'm 29, but you know, getting into your 30s, you don't watch as many cartoons, or you're not as excited to, you know, go get ice cream with your uncle or whatever. But John Cena wrestling is that same feeling. Witnessing John Cena wrestling is that same feeling that I had when I was 9 years old. And I think that's why, you know, we can get all in the weeds of it. We sit on this podcast and we're like critiquing booking or critiquing this, and so did this, and they should have done this, and I hate this, and da-da-da. But when you're in that arena, and when I saw John Cena live, it brought me back to like, this is what it's about. And I'm sure next week when I'm sitting here watching it on TV, I'm gonna be back right to my online guy, and they should have done this, and da-da-da. But for this week in this moment, I am speaking and got to be a kid again, and it's what it's all about. It's why we are wrestling fans at this old unk age, right? So yeah, it was a moment in the arena that like, and I think not a lot of people can experience that, right? I think other examples are like, you know, seeing Tom Brady's last game, right? Or in like, you know, when I was a kid, I grew up with Tom. There's not many instances like this, you know, and I feel very fortunate that I got to be there. And you know, a lot of people are kind of, you know, getting nervous about what's a post CENA WWE looking like, and I think fine. I do think fine. You know, this was his retirement tour before he came back. We were on a very good run, and I think he's gonna leave it in good standing. That's kind of my little soapbox speech, I guess.
Yeah,
I mean,
fell into the ending there. It's like, to me, like, again, this past year has been this past year, and it's been, you know, up and down, and just grateful that John Cena is given us anything. But he's been gone before that last 4 years.
Yes.
So like, I know what WWE looks like without Cena. It's been kind of a popular wrestling goblin take to be like, I'm leaving when John's leaving, which like, hey, kudos to you, and I respect if that's your decision. But that also just
like, we had the height of the Bloodline story when John Cena was not, you know, doing this retirement tour, you know? Absolutely.
Austin Theory was the man. But yeah, it's like Triple H said last night, everyone in that arena, you know, every, you know, race, color, creed, whatever that cliche thing is, you can say.
I thought he was really, when he started to like go to that, like, we all have different opinions. Yeah. I was like, what is he about to say? I was like, uh-oh.
But like he says,
he landed it. He landed the plane.
And like he says, everyone in that arena, and I think collectively around, if you know wrestling, you know this to be true. John Cena is the greatest of all time. He's the GOAT. I don't care. I'm not hearing anything else. Go look at the numbers. Go look at the world titles, the money, the everything. John Cena, the GOAT, and he's from Boston, Massachusetts, where we're from, so that makes us the GOATs.
Shout out West Newbury.
Hell yeah. I know I seen him laughing when Alicia Taylor was like West Newbury and a big pop for West Newbury, which like God, that's the only thing they probably have going for them.
Well, okay, we will. It's like I'm the same with you. I could talk about seeing Cena and being there for Cena's match for the next 2 hours, and I'm sure we'll touch back on the Patreon as well. With more personal stuff.
Can I give John a critique?
I guess yeah. Go ahead.
Do a 619.
If you pull out 619, I will lost my mind.
Just try it. I know, like he tried it in the match against AJ when they were chanting for it. Maybe we should have chanted for it. He had plenty of time to learn the craft. I know it's a tough move to do.
It's a tough move,
but just do it once for the moment. But maybe next week against Ray. Who knows?
Oh man, there was speculation before the dirt sheets come out. There are people like teasing he's facing Ray, and I was like, don't say that to me. Don't say that to me.
Just specifically to make you buy a ticket.
I know it worked. I'm trying to just make sure that's kind of all I have on that. I think so. I think we can just kind of go on to the rest of the show as we are 40 minutes in now.
No kidding. Huh?
Yeah. This is what the whole thing was gonna be.
The you fucked up chants were great.
Yeah, you fucked up. Okay, let's just go. I guess we can just go to the rest of the night. Following that, like you said earlier, tough spot. We had Damian Priest versus Rusev. Good match, and I guess this isn't even a critique; it's an observation, and I think, and it's fair. I do think a lot of the crowd, whether they, varying levels of diehard wrestling fanness were in attendance, and I think a lot of the crowd was there for John Cena.
Yeah,
and there were, and if you start out with that opener, you start out with Triple H out there, then John Cena on the mic, then the match announcement, then the match itself, and then the win. That's the main event,
yeah,
right? And that already happening, and to lead into the rest of the show is really tough. And I don't know if it was like, and I'm kind of speaking, to myself as well. The crowd was definitely tired after it. And I think even for the rest of the night, I think the crowd was tired because they saw the biggest moment already. I think the crowd was either tired / a lot of the crowd might also just been like more diehard Cena fans.
And then everyone's posting their reactions, sitting down, going to get the John Cena t-shirt, a soda, whatever.
Right.
It was a death spot. It was a tough spot for Rusev and Damian Priest.
And maybe there weren't as many diehard fans who, are super hyped for, which even Sheamus took a while to kind of get the crowd into it.
That match was going on for a while, and it seemed like Sheamus was almost getting cheers because the match has been going on for so long. Like, we like Sheamus. Let's go Sheamus.
Yeah. But yeah, a real tough spot for Damian Rusev. Rusev ended up winning. I think I watched half of it, and I went up and peed and got my beer.
I think a good move.
And then I think while I was peeing, I heard like Rusev wins, and I was like, cool, whatever.
Big win for Rusev. I think the right move here.
Yeah.
So I got honestly surprised that it was a clean loss for Damian. I definitely thought maybe Aleister Black.
Sure.
I guess that feud's still going on. Thank you, Road Dogg. But I will say too, Damian Priest's entrance freaking rocks. That's something that it's not something you don't really, you can watch on TV and it's whatever. I think the theme song's kind of a little corny, but like the fire and his presence was very like, oh wow, damn, I can see why he's a former world champion. And they worked a solid match, but I think at the end of the day, right win for Rusev. Rusev says, "I'm coming for you, Cena." I don't know if he's gonna get that far.
No, I mean these two, like Sheamus and Rusev, they are the ones in these matches that have this history with Cena.
Yeah,
they're the ones I expect to win. Also, I'm glad you mentioned the entrances because I don't know how you felt, but like leading into Raw, which I'm sure they do it. I'm sure it's at every Raw, but like the atmosphere they create in the arena with like all the lasers and like I said, I've been to some TV shows and this is the biggest atmosphere that a TV show has felt. Like the beginning song with like which I've never it must be like a newish thing as like the past year or two, where like the lights go out and they do like the blinking red light, and then like the whole place is red, and with the like the video package where it's like it's showtime, don't time, and like it felt fucking like huge.
My nephew lost his mind from that.
Yeah,
he lost his mind. I'm like, yeah, let's go.
I was like, I was sitting there like I felt like we were at WrestleMania. I was like, let's go. So yeah, like it is. And it's a whole different thing seeing these entrances, and you know, at the end of the day, you know, this is also it's a live show. So like, you know, seeing like the pyro and whatever live, the fire from Stephanie Vaquer's entrance, I was sitting right there. I was like, well, a little warm. This is warm.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, it got smoky in there after seeing his victory fireworks.
Well, that was me celebrating with a cigar with a red Albark.
Had some cigars in 302.
Yeah. I'll say this: I met up with my casual friend Steven, my good friend Jack, who's a big wrestling fan. Towards the end, my nephew had a migraine. We're kind of heading out. Towards the end of the main event, his big critique, Steve, he said like, why wasn't Cena and Dom the main event? And I was curious to get your thoughts of like, would that have been a better move? Because you throw back to we went to Teenage Bound for Glory. One of our things was like, you would think to keep the most people in the building, because a little bit for the Teenage Bound for Glory main event, Santana and Trick Williams, like there was less people there just because everyone was there to see the Dudley Boys, for Hardy Boys. We respected TNA for sticking with their guns and making the world title the main event, but we were just like, logistically would have made sense for that the Hardy Boys, Dudley Boys main event to main event. I kind of felt maybe the same situation for this. Maybe Cena and Dom build the hype for that match later on, because then like you said, we kind of popped our heads off in the opening show. Rusev, Damian, kind of in the death spot. Do you think that should have main evented as opposed to right in the moment?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm definitely shocked it didn't.
Me too.
I'll say that when they were announcing it and they were like right now, I was even like looking at the dirt sheets and whatever, and like knowing like that match was gonna happen.
Yeah.
100%, I was like, that's going to be the main event.
I was totally okay with what happened, and especially, too, because, again, casual fan Steve, he doesn't know that the women's tag team titles have main evented Raw a few times this year, and they've all banged, and, of course, what happened.
It was a great main. Yeah, we'll definitely get to it. Like, a great main event. I think still deserving of that main event spot. But, yeah, no, I am definitely... I don't think there's a wrong answer. Sure. And I think also, this is coming from... one, being there live, and two, like, I don't really have any, like, I'm sure if I watched it live, watched it on TV here, I might be saying something different, but like, I have nothing negative to say about this show, even like critiquing wise, I have like nothing to say.
Well, even say this though, Cody Rhodes in War Games is kind of weird. Which I didn't even totally clock it live in the show, but like that's like
I don't even like.
I'm so happy with the life I live the last night that I'm like I don't pay any mind to like that storyline right now.
Yeah, I
let it play out.
I think after we do all the pause stuff, I'm gonna try to record a yays and boos, and that's like a take in there that I'm gonna get to of talk. It's a lot of takes talking about War Games, and I like. Don't really have an opinion on War Games right now.
Nice to see Regal.
Because I was like,
War Games.
I'm so fired up. I got to see Code. Like, I don't have a very critiqued mindset about what's happening right now.
Yeah.
I'm just like fan mode, which
we'll
is great.
We'll save it for next week. That's
exactly.
That's fine, yeah.
But I don't know. I don't think that there was a wrong answer, because I do think there was enough time between that and the main event where the crowd got back into it for the main event.
Yep.
And I think the main event was great. But I do think they did a good job at capitalizing on the crowd was already so hot. I'm almost glad that they kept it going and just had that match, because the crowd was, for that 40 minutes that entire segment or whatever took place between Triple H getting out there and John Cena winning, the crowd was hot. So I think that was cool.
For every near fall.
Yeah. So I think that was cool. Not they would have the crowd would have been just as hot if that was the main event, but I think that was, and I don't know, were they competing against Monday Night Football? I don't know. Is that part of it?
Tell you what, stinker of a game. On paper, good game, Packers Eagles, but 10-7 stinker.
This isn't like a Patreon thing, but coming off, I'm fired up. I'm like coming off it, and I'm like, I don't really want to go home. So I was like, I want to go get a victory beer somewhere.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I said bye to some people. I'm like, I'm gonna go wait for the crowd to die down, wait for Uber prices to get a little cheaper. I'm going to go and have a beer somewhere.
Nice.
Went to Sullivan's, closed. I forgot it was a Monday. Which I guess like places are closed on Monday sometimes. Sullivan, I tried both doors. You know the doors on either side. Tried both doors. Sullivan's closed. Greatest Bar, I was like, fuck no.
Oh, you should have took the train home with me. We get in the train and there's like 10 or 12 females celebrating a girl's 22nd birthday party. And they're all hammered and they're all going to karaoke. And me and my brother are like, God, nephew, if you weren't here right now,
run some karaoke.
We'd be singing some Radio by Creep right now. But like,
take over their bachelorette party.
And, they're very sweet and very nice girls. So like that would have been that. So you should have came train ride home with Jimmy from the Q and gone to Cathay Pacific.
I guess so. Yeah. But I ended up, I kind of gave, because I was like, I forgot it was a month. It's like banner, like everyone had to go to work and whatever, and like school the next day. It's like
Monday football. Yeah.
Well, so. I was like, cause like I don't love like the Heart, but like I don't love too many bars over there.
Yeah.
So I kind of called it. I was like, nah, and I was like, you know what? Let me try one more spot. So next to Sullivan's was Scores.
I've been to Scores.
I didn't know Scores is an Eagles bar.
Oh yeah.
So I walked in. I walked in. There was people, and I was like, I found the wrestling after party.
Oh boy.
I walk in, and everyone's in Eagles gear. I'm like, what the hell? And the Eagles are on TV, and I'm like. Oh, so like I went pee and like called an Uber. I didn't even get a beer. I went pee, called an Uber, and got out of there.
Fuck the Eagles.
But I was like, what the? I was like, I didn't know it was an Eagles bar. Like, holy shit.
I think Hurricanes is a Ravens bar too. Yeah, they're certain bars over. Yeah, it's weird too.
But we'll breeze through. We're already almost at 50 minutes already.
Wild.
We'll breeze the rest of the show. I'm glad Rusev got the dub. That makes sense. Sheamus Shinsuke was fun. I think I was the biggest Shinsuke Nakamura fan in that building by a mile.
I sang the theme song. It was nice. Because I remember I went to SmackDown in 18, 17 when he first. It was the week before he debuted on television. He was working a dark match with Ziggler, and I remember that theme song super over. He was just coming off that NXT run and
such a great entrance.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
yeah, big time.
It was cool to see Sheamus. Sheamus got the crowd back into it, coming out of one of the commercials, and Sheamus Rusev advance. Sticking on the tournament talk, we got two tournament matches announced. Javon Evans and Gunther, and then Solo versus another mystery opponent they're teasing us with. Because they teased, what's the other one on SmackDown they announced? LA Knight versus a mystery opponent. Speculation for at least one of those is going to be Joe Hendry. And speculation for another one, Cope.
Chris Jericho. I think
Jericho's probably the biggest.
Could be another one. Maybe Jeff Hardy. I think kind of a dark horse thing. Not super.
Yeah, no one's really talking about that.
Cena history, but again, Jeff Hardy gets a pop if you just say the name Jeff Hardy.
Cool.
But yeah, very exciting.
I really like Javon Gunther. I think that match is
I was mid tweet saying, "Oh, I'm so excited to see Javon Evans in the tournament, this and that," and then. They panned Gunther. Dude, and I'm like, oh no, he's done.
I had that same moment where like he like took the ball out of the fucking thing and he went, Javon. I got out of my seat. Again, my crowd was like my crowd was fine. My section, I mean. And I was like, let's go Javon. Let's go Javon. Versus Gunther. And I went, oh no.
It was like the equivalent of like if you ever watch like one of the Jason Voorhees movies and the girl like, gets her boobs out, you're like, oh, this is crazy, and then right when she does, slash.
Yeah.
Gunther. No. Some people were very supportive because Javon Evans is the future. Like, could you imagine an upset win?
I do think Gunther will win. Yeah. I think that's gonna be a great match. Javon win would be so sick.
It'd be amazing.
But like it's been so heavily rumored that it's gonna be for like the past year, it's been like Gunther is gonna be the one to,
And we touched upon that last week and we were both like, though it's predictable, we're okay with it. It's gonna be a banger match. I think it's kind of the right winner. I think you kind of share that same sentiment. And I still do. But I have a new person who I'm like putting all my momentum. I want like an online. I hope it happens, and maybe a good call for maybe one of the mystery opponents, and who I want to win the whole damn thing, beating Gunther in the finals, and that's Obafemi.
It's a great one.
I want Obafemi instead of because John Cena hit the Performance Center. He has a newfound respect and love for NXT, and like I think Gunther's at a point in like he's one of the top of his craft where I don't think Gunther really needs to retire John Cena to assert dominance and get to the back of the card. Though it'd be nice and it's definitely a dream match of sorts. But I think Oba Femi, I believe is definitely younger than Gunther, has a lot more to gain, and like have him win the IC championship, have him then beat Gunther's 666 days and be that guy. I don't think he's been on NXT, has he?
I'm not really sure.
I think he's been off TV, so I think that could be a great opportunity for him to be one of the mystery opponents and him to go on. Imagine that finals too of Gunther Oba, immovable object. Was it inanimable object versus irresistible force?
Something like that.
Something like that. Tomatoes, tomatoes. Give me that. That's my new pitch that I want.
I'm glad you mentioned that because I haven't seen too much talk about it. Like with Cena winning the IC title, we're so wrapped up in this moment where there hasn't been a whole lot of speculation or talk or discussion about like, well, now what? People are saying like they want him to drop it next week, which like no, in my opinion.
It was Ray.
Fine. Fine.
even that. Oh, because then it could be Ray versus Dom at Survivor Series, which would bang.
But more so, I'm thinking
for the title.
I want now, which maybe it makes it a little more obvious of who would lose that final match, but I think it would be cool if Cena defends the IC title in his final match. The winner not only gets the win over Cena and retires him, but also, which I'm not even sure if Cena's losing his last match.
I've changed my tune about that. Cena should absolutely lose his last match.
Now that if he was in Boston, I'd say no.
Yeah.
If he's in DC, like
put someone over. That's like the John Cena way,
But I think his last match should be for the IC title. And him winning the IC title has made me now even like my percentage of, it's going to be Gunther has gone down a little bit because I'm like, well, Gunther's already had the IC title. He already had the IC title. He's had a historic run. Sure, getting it back isn't bad, but he's also now had the world heavyweight title. Yeah. So almost like, sure, retiring John Cena, I do think is a huge accomplishment, but getting the IC title, I think doesn't mean as much for Gunther now. It would be like second fiddle to everything. But now, like you're saying, Oba winning it. Yeah. If Oba won, he beat Cena. He's the guy that retired Cena. And 2, now he's running shit with the IC title. Like it means way more for an Oba, which is why I'm like, I love that the IC title is involved. Yeah. But now the story is also like, well, who's not only defeating Cena, who's gonna become the new IC champion?
Yeah, that's true too. And like, I'm someone that would like the idea, and I can see people dismissing it, but like Cena being IC champ, and I like that it actually lowers your thoughts of like Gunther potentially winning the tournament. But even in the last match for him being IC champ, if he were to win and just retire with the belt, and then the belt's up for grabs in the tournament, which fine with that. It's the workhorse thing. It was won, of course, in Rio de Janeiro by Pat Patterson in the tournament. That never actually happened, but. So maybe do the same thing there. So like I don't know. You could have Gunther Cena IC title, and like if you don't want to put the IC strap on Gunther, have Cena go over and like do it that way perhaps. But do
you think Cena will lose the title? Are you on that wavelength that Cena will have it in his last match? I think he'll lose it beforehand.
I think he should absolutely have it in his last match.
Yeah, me too.
Maybe defend it in New York too against someone.
I hope. I think he should. I hope he wrestles his next matches. Like now he can have the IC Open Challenge or some shit.
Next week, it has to be in Madison Square Garden. Chris Jericho versus John Cena.
That'd be crazy.
Jericho does rep New York too.
For the IC
His dad
title.
New York Ranger. I think Jericho was born in New York and like claims Canada. I don't know.
I'm from Winnipeg, you idiot.
Yeah, Winnipeg. Give me Chris Jericho, the highest decorated IC champ of all time versus John Cena. 2 guys who do not need this title at all, wrestling for it in their 50s. Let's go.
All right, so what else we had? We had Stache Club and Raquel Rodriguez. Fun match. Again, the crowd was still a little bit sleepy for this, but we're starting to wake up, especially with Raquel's big mommy moves. Stache Club is super, super over. Entrance live is really cool.
Kevin Nash chant did not work. No one cares about that little bit of insider information.
Well, so that's the thing is no one in that arena knows that. That's the thing. You know what I mean? Which
I did try it, but like I knew like no one else would have. I was doing it for the one person to be like,
Yeah. Well, so even too, something we didn't mention either is when John Cena had his promo against Dom, which he built up to it. It got me. I'm sure it got you just as much. Fine speech.
Oh. I got out of my chair because like I was already on the fine speech thing.
I was so hyped The crowd, it went over, I would say, 7. S was generous, like 70%.
I watched it back last night. You might be able to hear me because I lost my shit when he said fine speech. Again, I was sitting
fine
there.
Speech.
Oh, dude, like that's basically equivalent.
Him like winking to the camera to it. I was like,
really good.
Fine speech. I was like,
I thought you meant the wink when he was doing the
no, but that
thing.
was good. But I got the metaphorical wink of him building up to it and being like,
fine speech.
Fine speech.
You're buried.
I wish the crowd popped more for that.
Me too.
But yeah. Anyway, Stephanie with Nikki, a fun match. We got
Raquel looked really good in this match.
Raquel looked great.
Yeah.
Raquel looked fantastic. We got Roxanne interference. Blah blah blah. Stephanie Vaquer getting the dubski, which I think is the right call. Yeah. I don't think we're getting 2 big title changes for that Raw.
Match went long,
3. I guess I shouldn't say 3. Match went long. It was a good match.
Yeah.
I think again it was another instance of the crowd was a little sleepy, but the crowd they did a good job getting the crowd into it. And then
I'm sorry, we only got a devil's peck too. Like the devil's kiss was like over like that. I'm like, what the heck, man? I mean, maybe the knees are starting to go for Stephanie. It's a tough move to take.
I was too focused on doing my bit.
Yeah,
I had like a bit
good.
plan. Yeah. I didn't really like see it all a lot. I thought it was funny. I don't think anyone else thought it was that funny. But and then Nikki Bella turning on Stephanie, which I think is just like, again, I'm sure I think this is an instant like if I was watching on TV and being an armchair quarterback about it, as we usually do, I'm sure I'd have more to say. I was losing my. I was in the arena. I was like, no, Nikki, why? I love it. I'm curious how I'm gonna feel about it next week, but like you seem like you got something to say about it.
Hashtag Jimmy was right all along. This girl's lingering just for this moment, just to put herself out there. I think it was the right move. I think she makes way more sense as a heel. I naturally wanted to boo her. There were 2 hot chicks in front of me sitting down that knew ball. They were actually legit wrestling fans, which like even makes you that much more hotter. That were Nikki Bella stans, right? Because Nikki Bella came out with Stephanie in like no entrance or whatever, but like Stephanie was out there and like whatever. I'm losing my mind for Stephanie. And then out from the smoke is the lingerer, Nikki Bella. These 2 girls lost their freaking minds and they love Nikki Bella. So when the heel turn happened, they were unbearable. I couldn't believe it. I took a video and like, it was real funny, and like I was kind of taking the video talking trash about Nikki Bella, but then Nikki Bella does her patented boob show. Completely changed my mind for a half second.
So fun. Like her doing that, like in a heel way, the place popped.
Yeah,
that was so funny.
I was middle talking shit, and then she did that. I was like, oh wait, never mind. Mommy still got it, you know. But
I think it's a cool move.
Yeah, me too.
Not that I see Nikki Bella beating Stephanie Vaquer, but like it makes all this make sense. People for weeks have been like, why is she hanging around Io? Why is she hanging around Stephanie Vaquer?
Lingerer.
But it's cool. It works for me. The match was great.
Yeah. I'm excited. I'm excited for that match. I think I might have called it too. I was saying that like last week. Like Nikki needs to be a heel, and like I think it's a very it has a lot of potential to challenge Stephanie and to give that illusion that like maybe they will put the title on Nikki Bella, and it's definitely a good potential feather in the cap for Stephanie in her world title run.
I agree.
Yeah.
What else we have? Do we have what else happened before the main event?
CM Punk, Logan Paul division.
Oh yeah.
Jey Uso.
Yes. Whole big thing for it the main event. This I couldn't tell you what happened. This was just like star pop. Hell yeah. CM Punk's out there and God. And again, this is a prime example of me being, online podcast, wrestling, whatever. Excuse me. Last week I was which I don't necessarily take anything back, but man, seeing CM Punk live, I was like, I lied. I'm not over CM Punk. Seeing him live rocked. Again, it gets you back in that mindset of being a fan and being a kid. And the kid in me isn't critiquing, CM Punk and Real Glass and whatever. I'm just like, this theme song rocks. He's so good on the mic. He feels like a massive deal. He feels like a world champion. He was cool to see. Again, we were talking about earlier how spoiled we got. We got in Boston, we got a John Cena title match. Got Triple H starting the show. I'm going to count Ray. We got Stephanie Vaquer. We got CM Punk. We got Cody Rhodes. We got Jey Uso. We got The Vision. We got Logan Paul. We got the main event tag team title match. We got Nikki Bella. We got stars.
Even William Regal made the cameo.
Regal.
He had a cameo.
So we CM Punk, Logan Paul, they're out there. It seems like, again, this might just be like a War Games team, but like Logan Paul did drop like something division. So like still can't tell. I was more sold on it even last week, to be honest with you. I guess he's part of the Vision. Right? I don't know.
I say no. I
still say no.
I think it's a very loose association. This is just for War Games. I'm curious to know if like Seth Rollins never got injured, what this card would have looked like. But again, that was a long time ago. But again, that for sure, changes the landscape of what the WWE does the rest of the year. I think it's a loose association, and I'm still reeling from how grateful and how awesome last night was. For War Games, I'm liking where they're kind of going. Big stars in the match. I kind of touched upon it last week, where like AEW is also doing War Games, and like it just kind of feels like a War Games overkill. And like, here's the thing, and even having like the world titles both involved on the same team. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. And this is my new catchphrase. Here's the thing. I need stakes in these matches, man. I need something to be on the line. I need for there to be a reason why Logan Paul is creating this loose association for a match that just got booked now, War Games. Give it, whether it be, world title opportunities, control of Raw, whatever. Please make this match like for something.
I think I'm gonna be pretty disappointed.
I think I'll be pretty disappointed, but like again, like if we as fans sometimes listen to us if we cry and bitch online, but like I don't, and like just for like for it to mean something, because again, War Games does not do it for me lately. I need something. I need stakes. I need a reason for it. Besides, bragging rights and like, oh, you're a baddie and like we have common enemies. Like, no, I need stakes, please.
I think, yeah. I mean, I don't disagree. I just don't think.
You don't think?
I think it's just gonna be what War Games has been in the past. There's like babyface heel, and like someone wins and someone loses. Unfortunately, I'm not saying I disagree with you.
It's just wild to then take the two
world title matches being in it is crazy. Yeah. If anything, maybe it's like if the bad guys win, they get some sort of title opportunity.
I need something. Otherwise, the match is just like a chaotic clusterfuck and we get two of them for no reason on Survivor Series.
I am also curious where Logan Paul's position is at this point. To me, at least, like I think he's in it. I don't know if he's like the new leader or anything, but I'm definitely more sold on him. Like he's at least like the interim Seth Rollins of the group to me.
Yeah.
And that'll be kind of more clear, I think, post War Games to kind of see like, okay, is he still with it? Was Hopefully. It just a War Games thing? Yeah.
But it's looking like it's been like 3-on-3 announced. So each team probably has one spot open. Any speculation? Big match, John? Any ideas?
Well, before I get, I do want to talk about just how crazy I went for hearing Cody's theme.
Yes,
and like first CM Punk's out there and he's fighting him off, and then Jey Uso, and I'll tell you what, Jey Uso, and we say this, we have this conversation all the time, especially when we go to shows or whatever. Guy's over, man. Even like so much so where like the crowd is really good, or CM Punk does a punch, yay. Whenever Jey Uso does something, it's a yeet.
Yeah,
it's a yeet.
The kids love it, man.
I wasn't necessarily yeeting.
Yeah,
but like I was witnessing it. The guy is over.
I love that sentence.
I wasn't necessarily
eating.
Necessarily eating personally.
It's crazy too, though. I don't think like his song played at all, because I think he
you're right.
He ran up in the arena, in the kind of the crowd, and kind of backed up Punk, and I don't think the song played afterwards. I think they played Punk's song.
Right.
But kudos for them to avoid what many children go for these other events, is to do the Yeet song or whatever. But yeah.
Yeah, it was. So we saw, and then Cody. And Cody's, I was like, I fucking love Cody. I was so hyped to see Cody.
The crowd singing his theme song, which again, I think top 5 theme song of all time. That's a hot take.
I was trying to do it. I wish we kept up his song. Cause like the crowd kind of stopped singing at the first punch. Cause like when the song went off, the crowd was still going a little bit, and the first punch ended. I wish we kept going through it and hit the whoa, but alas. But yeah, so we got this big just like crowd pleasing brawl, seeing all these stars, and then later on backstage we got Adam Pearce like, oh, the 3 of you, and Mr. Regal, War Games, and then pan right off him. Like, just like was there for that. You got paid for that 3 seconds.
Looks good.
God bless him. Looks great. So you're saying you're right. This is 3-on-3 on the good guys side. We have Cody, CM Punk, Jey Uso. On the bad guys side, we got Logan Paul, Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed. Are you speculating like a Seth Rollins return? Or?
Oh God, I think he's out for another couple of months.
Oh yeah, he has a pretty tough injury.
I think 2 names that always will circulate for the Vision and the heel side is Lesnar and Theory. Theory kind of an out there one because again, like we've seen him.
I can see Lesnar.
But Lesnar makes a lot of sense. In my opinion too, I think the build for WrestleMania will be Lesnar Breaker in one shape, way, or form. And then the baby faces, which like then
who's there for the good guys?
People are speculating, and like it'd be like I think like the massive biggest super team. Well, let me first say this: it's crazy. That's probably not going to be LA Knight, who has been feuding with the Vision all year long. Who had an interview last night on Monday Night Raw. I'm not sure if it made
during
it
the commercial.
During the commercial,
I think it was during a commercial.
Regardless, gets cut off. And now
he did.
It got cut off. And now it's to the point where I think they are purposely burying this mother lover. It's crazy.
I don't know what he did.
It's to the point where I think they're doing it to do the reverse Daniel Bryan push, where it's like we're gonna make it seem like it's like the system against this guy to the full-fledged degree, and so you guys push shove our hand so much, which like again that might not happen. But Roman Reigns, I think, is a name that
I think
he's on the posters of Survivor Series. I think it's a match that doesn't require him to work a full match, so good for him to get a little break, as he of course needs a break. So would that be Roman Reigns, Jey Uso, Cody Rhodes, and CM Punk? I mean, I'm already gonna make the meme of the 3 dragons and the 4th one looking kind of silly, but hey. Still an absolute dream team, and like on paper, I'm sure like once that match begins, I'm gonna be hyped for it. But give me stakes, give me something, and like to me, that kind of just really that match will be about will Jey Uso ego crash out, and that'd be the story of the match.
Yeah, it'll be fun to see. I'm curious if they'll lean into like trying to lure Jey into the Vision. I don't know if they're gonna play on that. Is women's war game? What's the women's war games looking like?
So they ended last night, and it's looking like it's gonna be Charlotte, Alexa.
I was gonna say it's the tag team division, right? Okay, I wasn't sure if it was like announced already. If I was looking at something else.
And then the opposing team is gonna be Asuka, Kairi, Lash Legend. Which shout out Lash Legend debut on SmackDown, which SmackDown wasn't bad.
That was the highlight.
Lash Legend and Nia Jax making an appearance in War Games, which is is what it is. I'm excited for that. I think that would be a dominant win for the babyface woman, in my opinion. But that's kind of predictions way too soon. But.
Well, we'll transition right into the main event. Speaking of that, excuse me. Fun match. I love that the women's tag team titles are main eventing again. Big match feel. Entrances felt massive. We got Kabuki Warriors versus Charlotte and Alexa for the tag titles. This match rocked. Again, the crowd was kind of still at this point. Now the crowd's getting back into it. We're definitely hotter. Again, I do think I was the biggest Kabuki Warriors fan in the building by a significant margin.
Charlotte over as fuck.
Yeah,
she's so over.
Charlotte got a big pop. Even Alexa, I think, got a big pop. Massive pop for Sister Abigail.
Oh, yeah.
That was really cool. Some Firefly. I participated in it. Some Fireflies started popping out during that. And then we got the Kabuki Warriors getting the dub pretty clean. Asuka and Kairi, new tag team champions. I'll tell you what, Kairi Sane cracks me up. I was kind of watching her like, I forget what she did. She like, I don't know, grabbed someone's foot or whatever ringside, and then she was just like, the camera wasn't on her, but I was kind of watching her, and she was just like playing to the crowd. I think she even like took a selfie with someone, and just like, it's so funny in kayfabe that she's just like she's a heel because she's under the control of Asuka, but her like breaking out of her being a heel and being a face and like saying hi to the fans and whatever is so funny to me. You know who was also there? Green shirt guy out in front. See him?
That's how you know it's a real show,
That's how
my
you know
friend.
It's a big show. I only say that because I think she was in that area. But yeah, it's a fun match. Kyrie getting with the big elbow to close it out, and then which I didn't, because I was kind of I was on the opposite side of where Lash Legend and Nia Jax like came in and did their thing. So I didn't even know what happened until like after the fact I saw the replay. Nia Jax Lash Legend, which so hyped. Lash Legend is on the main roster. And you're right. This looks like the War Games team. I'll tell you what, the faces are stacked.
Yeah, you want to talk about an all-star team? That's an all-star team.
Because then we got, again, talk about being spoiled. Rio making their return. Io Sky coming out, which already got me. I was like, hell yeah, Io's coming out. Rhea Ripley coming out. Talk about a pop, dude. When Rhea Ripley's music hit, place erupted. So over. Yeah, I thought it was a great way to end the show.
Casual friend Steve, why are these women main eventing the tag team?
Get out of here.
That's why, Steve. Rhea Bloody Ripley, Io freaking Sky, two of the greatest wrestlers in the business today. What a complete freaking Monday Night Raw. What a show. What a great time to be alive. What a great time to be a wrestling fan. Bang. I'm so happy.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure how quickly they went off the air, but like, even just like watching like, post match and like, like everything's going off, and you have, Charlotte and Alexa in there, and Charlotte and Rhea hugged. You have Io and Rhea reforming. So like, Rhea's like picking up Io and everything, and they're like, dancing and having fun. And then even kind of like I stayed a little bit after and to kind of watch, and Rhea, Io, Charlotte, and Alexa all kind of staying behind, and like they were signing autographs and taking pictures and kind of like still watching Rhea and Io. And it was fun to see them like with the cameras turned off and them just like playing into the fans. Like this like one girl sitting by the ring had like pom-poms, and Io fucking grabbed the pom-poms and started like, playing with the pom-poms, and like she's like you could tell she was going, Rhea, like she wanted to show her, and Rhea starts cracking up. I don't know. Again, it was like, not to be parasocial about it again, but just like seeing these genuine interactions of off script, them having fun and them being friends was just like also fun to see. I love this pairing. I'm not looking forward to the day where Rhea Ripley or Io Sky, I think either will be fun.
Sure.
Turns on the other and beats them down. But I think a great feel good end to the show, and just what a killer night overall. I said it again. Boston got spoiled in TD Garden. I'll tell you that.
I think too. Nia Jax saw what I did and then one up me too. Unfortunately,
What happened?
her boobs got out. Unfortunately,
Oh,
she had a nice top on, and of course, when you're doing a walk and brawl and you're wearing casual clothes, the screen went black multiple times in the main event Raw.
I didn't
I was sitting next to Bobby Heenan and Iron Sheik, so I didn't see that in person. But like I watched it back, and I'm like, oh, that's unfortunate.
Oh,
but,
yeah, I didn't clock that. That sucks. But yeah, just a fantastic show. Again, I keep on spinning in circles in terms of just saying I'm so grateful to be there and da-da-da. But which something I wish I said at the beginning of the show. Thank you to everyone who came up and said hi. We got a couple of Stache Club members, clubbians, whatever. The worst SmackDown in years.
Fastest rising content creator right here, taking notes even for the worst SmackDown in years. Sorry, I cut you off.
No, I was just saying. I was saying thank you to the fans. God forbid.
A few people that reached out to me of our Stache Club fans. That was really cool. I'll never get over it. Yeah,
I think we were saying like off camera where like TD Garden, they really usher you out. Like the second it was over, so there wasn't a whole lot of hanging around. But like the people that did catch me, meet me, and or you, shout out you guys. I took some pictures, met some people. Everyone's really cool as always. That's always like, adding on to the surreal moment and adding on to the appreciation. Yeah, what a night.
It was really cool to see for me too. A lot of people in my like life in the past that I've noticed, whether on social media or even I saw at the show. Like, oh, like I didn't know, like you still, again, John Cena has that poll, and it was advertised last time in Boston. So I think a lot of those casual fans were there. But it was just really cool to see, like, wrestling's still the best, dude.
I know. And we kind of talk about how, like, maybe it's kind of in a lull period. Coming out of this Raw, I was like, are we back? Are we back? Feels like we're back.
I mean, after that SmackDown, You know,
I was all right. Defend. Go ahead. Defend this piece of shit SmackDown.
Okay, so guys, quick, because again we're hour 20 in the show. SmackDown. John went viral on the socials, crapping on SmackDown. So I said, John, I'm like, I'm gonna talk to you about this because again, last week we were talking about how much we don't like hyperbole and people saying Jey Uso the worst wrestler ever. That wasn't the worst SmackDown in years. That was I think I also, because then I quote tweeted you. I was like, that SmackDown rocked. I don't think rocked. I think is a word maybe I should stop using so much. But okay, the SmackDown starts off. Zelina Vega looks like $1 million. Aleister Black, Cody Rhodes. Two really good wrestlers, history in AEW, which I appreciated, so I was really looking forward to that. That building up to the main event.
Right, wait. Match got interrupted again. Great.
But that was
big whoop.
We'll get there. I think we'll get there. Dragunov versus Johnny Wrestling, pretty good. Pretty good. I mean, I kind of rather see Ciampa, but like again, I'll say this for that match again because I think it was a really good match. Very predictable who's going to win that match. It was Hydrogen Bomb versus Coffin Baby, but you know, whatever. Don't care for R-Truth, so that was a weird promo segment. Jade promo, best world champion in the world, short and sweet, just like I want to see her matches be, because I want to see the dominant world champion that she is. Her versus B-Fab next week. Looking forward to that. What did you say?
So like, I'm that bitch or something?
I'm that bitch, which is the AEW catchphrase she was rocking back then.
Which, like, to that, great, but like to people's critique is like, that could have been something. Like, I liked it. I liked that it was short and sweet, but I think that's a fair critique of people being like,
I love these critiquers. You know what I mean? They don't know what they're talking about. And then a cool tease with Charlotte and her, which I think is a big money match. And I love to see maybe 2 or 3 of those where Jay just kind of given. I think I would like to see those matches not be squashes because I'm someone that loves to see Jade get pushed over. But Charlotte Flair deserves her respect, and I think they could have some good matches, and it'll be a test for Jade. We'll see. Charlotte versus Nia, fine.
Sure,
it was fine. Lash Legend debut, that was the main thing, and then of course also Charlotte wardrobe. It's tough to be a wardrobe these days. Green upsets Julia, which like let me tell you. I loved. I love a good surprise. I love a good 1, 2, 3 kid beats Razor Ramon. I'll say this. I don't think Julia is half as good as a wrestler as Razor Ramon. I think I'm out on Julia. I think, here's the thing. I understand
that's
Julia.
The problem.
Yeah, but
that's the problem because they're not showing you anything.
But at some point, what do we hold Julia somewhat responsible for? Hey, you're given this opportunity. There's nothing that she's done that has wowed me. I get the booking.
Because she's not booked on TV and not given matches. She's had 2 matches.
I watched SmackDown and it's like they're pretty short matches. So again,
exactly.
I understand she's battling an uphill stream seemingly, and I think the fact that they made 2 women's mid-card belts was a terrible decision. More belts is not the right move. I think one belt clearly is the one that people care about is the women's IC title. Max and Dupree next week. Let's go. So I think, and the thing is too, like people, this buries Julia. If anything, I'm now more interested in Julia than I have been in a long time. We'll see if she will sink or float, maybe go back to NXT, or maybe you're just not meant for this league. Maybe
such a hater.
No, I'm being
this
honest.
League.
League.
She's a better wrestler than 75% of the roster.
Yeah, so you'll go to where the best wrestles. You know what I mean? Go to that other league.
Go to AEW?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were talking about NXT.
Yeah, she could go back to NXT and hold on a division.
I don't know. I think you're out on Julia, rightfully so, because they haven't. If you haven't seen, if the only thing you've seen of Julia is her SmackDown run,
which is
you're gonna think that she's garbage.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which I don't blame you for. But I'll tell you this: I like the Chelsea Green one.
Yeah.
I don't dislike the Chelsea Green one.
Yeah.
Or I guess more so, I don't dislike the Chelsea Green has the U.S. Championship again. I think it is a big red restart button. I like that she is the double champion. I think she is the best by a country mile. The best. I mean, there's only been 3 of them, but like the United States champion. I just don't love. It was a squash match.
It was a surprise.
It was a surprise squash match.
A squash would be something different. Like that's like, oh, you're buried, you're done. Like it was a fluke win.
I think they put the shovel to that poor girl. That poor half Italian, half Japanese woman.
But I want to know a little bit if it's because of her. Again, you're given opportunities, and I know she's like I'm kind of repeating myself, but like she's battling upstream with the booking and whatever. But at some point, it becomes to you to get over, and I don't know
what. But you can't get over if you're not allowed to wrestle. Yeah, I just don't know what you want her to do. I don't know what you want her to do.
I'm a little out. But hey, a very memorable moment. Chelsea Green, I love Chelsea Green. She deserved it after the year she's had, and I think her and Ethan Page are a phenomenal pairing. Ray Phoenix for the tall guy. I thought, like, again, Ray Phoenix losing, not ideal. But again, we got to get out of our heads as an IWC about wins and losses being mattering. Ray Phoenix doing that kick, 7 feet tall up there was really cool a few times. And like Tonga, working a very slow, methodical giant match because that's what he is, a giant. And like, again, if you're going to try to push this guy as a giant, he has to get a win. It's kind of sucks that it's at the cost of Ray Phoenix. But again, I thought they went 10 minutes and like Ray Phoenix, I thought looked good in the match.
God, I hate that you brought me to this point. I was so positive all episode.
Well, if I was like Negative John.
If I was Ray Phoenix, I'd quit tomorrow. Ray Phoenix lost to Tonga. That's crazy.
No, it's not. He's tall. He's new. He's tall. You got to put him over.
God, Ray Phoenix is one of the best luchadors in the world. I agree.
And he showcased that. And then lost.
I can't believe he lost.
It's okay. You look good against a giant, and then Sami Zayn being stuck in the MFT vortex does suck.
Yeah.
And then Cody Frisk Black. I was expecting your boy Damian Priest to interrupt the match, but then it was Drew, and then Damian made a save, which is like cool, whatever. But those four guys are big men that are marketable, that are Black being kind of elevated to that world title picture a little bit. I think means a lot. Gets so it was Drew Claymore, the referee, so I guess it's just no contest. But I think that calls for a Black Cody rematch, and good for them. I think it was an entertaining episode of SmackDown. I was on stream, so maybe I'm biased because I had a nice little stream going. But the worst SmackDown in years.
I think it was terrible. Because really, like, all you had, if you're really breaking all that down, that's a Lash Legend debut. Yeah. Great. Ilya still carrying the show, obviously. Yeah. And there was a third thing. I don't know, some like fine announcements about
Cody and Black, or
I mean, like it's just the same DQ, and I know like I sound like a broken record, and everyone has the same point of just like DQ ending. It's the same thing, and da-da-da. It just didn't do anything. I don't know if
I think Rocked, when I quote to you, is a stretch. I think Rocked is definitely not the case.
I would even
venture. Worst SmackDown in years, John.
Did I say worst or one of the worst?
I think maybe one of the worst.
Okay. So if I said one of the worst, I don't think I said worst. I think I said one of the worst.
Yeah, you said one of the worst. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to put words in your mouth.
I would definitely. I don't even think you can say this is good. I think if you say, I think decent is as much as I can give someone for this SmackDown, especially seeing this Raw. You see what wrestling can be.
I respect your opinion. I respect your opinion tremendously, my friend. And here's the thing. Here's the thing too. And and again, totally agree with this wasn't the best show in the world, but it is kind of jarring how much they care way more about Raw than SmackDown. And
it's jarring.
It's very jarring, and it's very much the case of maybe it just boils down to one's on Netflix, one's on the USA Network. Maybe the light is at the end or not at the end of the tunnel for USA Network, because again, maybe I don't know what TV contracts or where they can go to once they maybe move SmackDown to a Fox or whatever network they're next on. They'll start caring about SmackDown, but it seems like Raw is head and shoulders the A+ show, and SmackDown's
that's crazy.
Which again, we are both you don't believe me, but we're both AEW fans. But we're pretty honest about we watch Dynamite. We very rarely watch Collision. Maybe SmackDown's getting to that point where it's it's kind of a missable show.
Yeah, unfortunately, because SmackDown's had hits. There was a couple weeks where I was like, wow, SmackDown's back, and then a couple weeks go by. But I will tell you this. I do know you're just bringing it up for the sake of the pod. And you want which I do appreciate, because I don't want us to be on here for an hour and a half to be like, I agree with you. That's boring. But I will say, and it's the reason why I take this with a grain of salt, because you have been on record saying that if people have a popular opinion, you will often take the other side. You like being the not devil's advocate, but you like being the.
Well, yes, for sure. I jumped to that immediately, but I will say this. Again, I was on stream, and I kind of left that SmackDown that was pretty good, whatever. And and there is there is you have a good stream, there is stream bias any show.
For sure.
It's definitely you have more of a chance to have fun on stream than watching SmackDown by yourself. But
I guess I can meet you a little bit, where I'm not even just saying this to meet you anywhere for the sake of meeting you anywhere, but this is genuine. I can meet you a little bit to admit a little bit that it may have been a tiny bit hyperbolic, a little bit. I do think it was a bad show.
But it was jarring though, because I left that stream and then like I didn't go on my phone for maybe a half hour, which is like eternity for me. And then I opened my phone and I see like you had that tweet and then it kind of took off a little bit and like.
So I do always hate when the negative stuff.
It's always the negative stuff. But like I'm like, I totally disagree with you, and I'm like, you know what, this would be good for the podcast. Though we have an hour and 20 minutes of other stuff to talk about, but given I thought it was worth No,
100%. Like I said, I was just kind of teasing you back. All right, folks, with that said, if you want to hear us go for a whole other hour, we have a bunch of questions over on the Patreon we're going to talk about, chit-chat about, shoot the crap about. Head over to patreon.com/Stache Club Wrestling. $5 a month, you get the whole back catalog with episodes and new weekly episodes. We go for another hour over there. It's a good time. Okay, follow us on everything. How many, I'm kind of just curious, I don't know if you have this on top of your head. How many Not that this matters. This is such a content creator thing to ask. But I'm curious how many followers you gained because of the video. Because we
various my socials been blowing up, and even before the video, even my normal going to Raw tweets were kind of doing better, and on Instagram too, the video too, specifically on Instagram, a bunch of followers, and then feather in the cap. Again, I would say I got 250 of them bookmarks on the video on Twitter, which usually means horny. I'll say probably 200.
I think it does.
200 of those are probably oh, I want this as a reaction, meme thing. 25, oh, look how fat Jimmy looks. Let's put this in the spank bank to then bring it up how Jimmy look fat. And the other 25, probably horny. And then of those 25 horny, 5 of them maybe chicks, and then maybe 2 of those potentially hot chicks. I don't know.
I think it's 250 Playboy bunnies. That's what I think.
Let's go.
Folks, thanks for being here. We'll see you next time. We hope you enjoyed. Leave your likes, leave your comments. Let us know how you enjoyed Raw. Let us know if you're in the building as well. We'd appreciate it. All right, folks, we'll see you next time. We'll give you one of these for the road. Talk to me.
Match of the week. Wrestler of the week.
Sure.
Match of the week. John Cena. Dirty Dominic Mysterio. Wrestler of the week. John Cena.
Match of the week, John Cena, Dom. Wrestler of the week, John Cena. I'm glad you said that. Put it on paper. Pen to paper, official. Put it in the history books. Was it going to be anything else? Absolutely not. All right, folks. Thanks for being here. We'll see you next time. Peace. In the Tegan Knox stuff going around on the timeline?
No idea what's going on.
That's Michigan.
Oh, Michigan Brady?
He's like, did I just pull a Michigan Brady? I was looking at what our rating is on Spotify. 4.9 stars. Ooh. 906 reviews.
I think underrated. His last match was 30 seconds long. It was the motorboat spot, and that was it. And then he made the same point. He goes,
someone had a 1 year no compete or something like that. So they can't work for a year. That's fucked. That shouldn't be legal.
I mean, I'm typically familiar with the whole 90 days.